Are we scared yet? Woo! We haven't even started the convention yet. But guess what? We just did. Welcome to the 11th annual Flashback Weekend Chicago Horror Convention. Let's make some noise! Step out of light here. How many of you are here for the very first flashback experience of your life? Urgent alert. Glad to have you with us tonight. My name is Dan Geyer. I am the film critic of the Daily Herald, and I have the pleasure of serving as your master of ceremonies for this auspicious event for this weekend's 11th annual Chicago Flashback Weekend. For those of you who don't know, Flashback Weekend is not a product of a corporation. It's not a bunch of board of directors who decided to do something. We have our fearless creators, our founders, Mike and Mia Kurz, who 11 years ago had the audacity to basically mortgage their house to get the money to make the very first Flashback Weekend. Things were iffy for a couple of years there. But we responded and we made Flashback the success that it is, and we are celebrating 11 years of Flashback. Thank the Move It Co. Theater, because the people who run the Move It Co. are also cut from a different cloth. As I'm sure many of us are here in the audience are. But they are not the typical national corporation of, well, not very well thinking people. They are very open to things, and thanks to their programming finesse and their vision, we're able to have the flashback on the big screen here at the theater tonight. Give a big round to the Move It Co. And it also happens to be a very special anniversary for something else, too. We all know what that is, don't we? 45 years ago, George Romero and his group of Pittsburgh filmmakers created a black and white, low-budget motion picture about zombies that changed the future of horror. He is an icon. That is to say, Mr. Romero is an icon, the film is iconic and a masterpiece. So now, for what we've all been waiting for, let's give a flashback welcome to George Romero. Can you hear me? I'm amazed that there are this many people here to see this whole thing. But I understand it's a print, and I haven't seen a print copy for a number of years, so it ought to be, hope it's an okay print. Anyway, I hope for people that haven't seen the film, hopefully you'll like it. You won't wonder, what everybody's been doing for the last 45 years. And for the people that have never seen it big and only on the little box, it ought to be maybe something a little special.
Damn right.
You might. Might be able to see a couple of microphones. I didn't know what I was doing when I made this movie. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to engineer or control the craft. So there's a lot of people looking the same way. Screen directions are way off. But all I see are the mistakes, the sort of little filmmaking mistakes. Filmmaking 101. But it turned out okay. So anyway,
we have time to, answer a couple of questions here. But I can't see anything, so you're going to have to shout it out.
George.
Yeah. Where are you?
Right here.
Okay. Yeah.
What inspired you basically to remake the movie Night of the Living Dead?
Well, there's a story behind Night of the Living Dead. We lost the copyright on it. We never had a copyright on this film. We didn't know that. What happened was when we put the little copyright notice, the little C with the circle around it, on the title. And when the film went into distribution, the distributor changed the title to Night of the Living Dead. Our title was Night of the Flesh Eaters. And there was a movie called The Flesh Eaters, so they decided to change the title. When they changed the title, the copyright bug came off the film. And we've been fighting it ever since, trying to reestablish a copyright. And we haven't been successful so far. So as of right now, the film is still in public domain. But the reason we did the remake was basically to try to reestablish a copyright. It didn't work on this film. The remake is copyrighted, but this film still is not.
It's better.
Which, the remake?
No.
Which do you like better?
Well, of course I like this, and it's like, I don't know, your first child or something, it's, you have a natural affection for it, and it's, I always will feel fondly about this film. It's not my favorite zombie film. My favorite of my zombie films is Day of the Dead. I know everybody likes Dolan the most, but
Survival.
My favorite is Day. Hey, all right, hey, a fan of Survival. 9 people saw Survival. All right, great.
George.
Yes.
Out of all your Living Dead films, what is your favorite zombie character?
Bub. Love that man.
In Land of the Dead, what inspired you to make the zombies start learning again?
Well, it's remembered behavior. I don't think they're not going to win a Nobel Peace Prize. But it's remembered behavior. When Big Daddy gets a gun in his hand, when he gets angry, he pulls the trigger accidentally. Remembers, oh yeah, I remember what this thing used to do. And so he's able to use it. So I was trying to use remembered behaviors rather than smarts,
Question.
Yeah.
What made you pick a trowel?
I have no idea. I have no idea. You just think these things up, and what would be in an old, basement there. Anyway, I just thought, okay,
Hey George,
use a trowel. I signed a couple today.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How come you chose it to be the little girl that ended up killing your mother?
Well, one of the things we were trying to illustrate was sort of the disintegration of the family unit. And so I just thought that was a pretty definite way to describe it.
George.
Yeah.
Did you get any pushback in the film industry for casting an African American in the lead role?
Oh, we absolutely did. Well, except we had already made the film. So, no problem. But right up until Land of the Dead, in fact, the terrible thing about Land of the Dead was when I originally wrote the Riley Denbo role, the Simon Baker role, I wrote him as an African American, and Universal refused. They said, no, we have to sell these films in Europe. Europe won't buy an African American lead unless it's Denzel. And so I said, okay. So the way I retaliated was by making Big Daddy African American.
Hey.
And I think it worked out, in the end, it worked out better.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Why did you choose to go the R-rated route with Land of the Dead?
Had to again, universally. It's the only way that we could have made the film. So that was it. I decided to go ahead and make the movie and by those restrictions.
George,
So yeah, one more. Let's go.
in your first movie, you had a zombie run downhill. After that, never again.
I know. Well, he doesn't really run. He sort of bumbles around. He's not actually running. He's being
He seemed pretty quick.
Being dragged by the car a little. I wasn't thinking when I made that. I wasn't thinking of rules. I wasn't thinking I'd ever make another film. I didn't call them zombies. I never thought of it as a zombie movie. I thought that they were some sort of a new creature, some sort of punishment by God that was, had fallen on mankind.
Do you
So I never thought of them as zombies.
Do you ever feel like
So, I don't know what inspired me. I wanted to write a story about something that was so extraordinary, so earth-shaking, and yet the people in the farmhouse were too concerned with their own petty interests and petty concerns to even focus on it.
Do you ever feel amazed?
That's really what the idea was. Yeah.
Do you ever feel amazed that you wake up in the morning and here you are, you're the progenitor of this huge cultural wave that's just swept over the world?
You're a god.
I don't. Thanks. I don't get it. I don't understand it. All I know is that I used to be the only guy in this playground. That is a whole,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. George Romero! Okay, Mr. Romero will be with us the entire flashback weekend, and for those of you who are around on Sunday, 1 o'clock will be part of a special panel, so be sure to check your schedules and be there on Sunday. Tonight, after this film, we will have 2 more events you're invited to stick around for. One is Trancers 1.5, the Charles Band sequel. It's a short film, and after that is going to be Hatchet 3. So stick around. Thanks for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, we now present proudly at Flashback Weekend, Night of the Living Dead.